Hi there, this is Maria from the Face Yoga Method, and I am here to answer some questions about the teacher certification course. So, as you probably know, we recently relaunched the teacher certification course, and we have all the details on our sales page. But we have been getting questions that I guess are not, or they're not covered on our sales page. They go much deeper than those, and they're really good questions. So I am here to hopefully address and clarify some of those things. What we keep getting is that people don't know what to expect, and they're afraid that they might not be able to live up to the expectations, or they might not pass the course. So it's really hard for me to give you the exact experience of what to expect, because it really is an experience that you're going to go through for the next 4 to 5 months. And it's going to be intense. And I want to tell you, before I go into these details, I want to tell you my own personal story that might help you relate to this, because although I'm not a certified teacher, I do other things. I run the business, and being a certified teacher is not my strength. That's not where I am, although I do practice. But I can understand what you might be feeling if you're at this point where you're thinking maybe you want to do this, but you're not really sure. You don't know if it's the right thing for you. It's a financial investment. What's going to happen at the end? I get that because I've been there, and I want to tell you my story that back in 2009, I was going through a really challenging time in my life, and both on a personal and professional level, and there were a lot of changes going on, and it was the U.S. economic meltdown, and I really wanted to make a big change in my life, a big one, on every single level, personal and professional and emotional, and just the way that I lived it. And I was looking for guidance in doing that. And I was not at my best point financially, but I knew the need in me was so much greater, the desire in me for change was so much greater than any financial circumstances, that I knew I would find something and I would do what it took to make that change. And I ended up enrolling in a very expensive 5-figure mastermind. And it was a stretch for me. It was a stretch financially, but even more so than that, it was a stretch emotionally and personally and in a self-growth way. And I look back now, 8 years later, and my life, and I'm not going to chalk it all up to that program. I'm going to chalk it up to this. That was the catalyst for change for me. It is transformed 100% in every single way. And I think back to how unknown that whole thing was for me. It was like, I'm the kind of person, oftentimes, I will jump in without all the details, and I get it. Not everybody's like that, just because I feel it. Like I wanted it so bad. And I jumped into this thing, this mastermind for a year, paying a lot of money, and without all the details, I just felt it. And it was a huge catalyst, and massive transformations have happened in my life since then. And I've continued to invest in myself, in a personal development way, as well as a business way, on a regular basis, as Fumiko does. We continually do that, because if you don't invest in yourself, who else would invest in you? And we're not static creatures. It's not like our growth stops once we get out of high school or college or whatever kind of formal training you're getting. We're human beings that continue to grow on a regular basis. And I think a lot of us forget to nurture ourselves. We do a lot of training that's technical, but we don't take care of ourselves, and that's the only vehicle you really have in this life. And bringing that back to the course, the teacher certification course, you're going to learn technical skills, no doubt about it. You're going to learn how to teach people face yoga, which is entirely different from practicing face yoga. I always say I know how to speak English perfectly. I could not teach English to a foreigner, to someone that only spoke Japanese or Chinese. I don't know how to teach them English, even though I know how to speak it perfectly. And you're going to learn that skill. So that's the technical skill that you're going to learn in the teacher certification course. But even bigger than that, this journey that you're going to go on is going to be a journey of self-development. And you're going to build yourself. You're going to build your confidence and your ability to deal with others and to lead a class. And you're going to learn how to do that. And I know a lot of people doubt themselves. You're at this point maybe here in your life and you're like, I want to be here, but you doubt and you want to know the exact path that's going to take you from here to here. You will never know that exact path, and you will never be able to control that exact path, and it will never, ever be the path that you think it's going to be. But the most important thing is that you start out, you start doing something. You take that first step forward. And I promise you, the rest will fall into place. The universe will rise to meet you. We live in an abundant universe and there is no lack. Any lack is only here. It is only in your head. I know this from experience. It's something I've struggled with. It's something I constantly work to realign my mindset, but there is no lack in this universe. But if you don't put emotion forward, if you don't take that first step, it cannot rise to meet you. So I don't know if this is the right course for you. I know that we're there 100% to support you, that we have support in there, and that you will learn, I guarantee you will learn every single skill if you do the work to teach a class with both confidence and knowledge. You will be tested on this and you will not pass the course until you pass that test. And we've definitely had people who failed the test a couple times in the first round of students. Fumiko meets with you one-on-one to decide if you're ready. And they retook it and they passed. And a lot of them were really upset the first time. I don't want to say a lot, like there weren't so many people that failed, but there were, and they were upset the first time. And then at the end, they thanked her because they realized what they had to change and what they had to work on, and they did it. And that's what you're going to do too if you enter into this teacher certification course. If it's a financial thing that's with straining you or holding you back, and it's going to take like that bottom dollar from your bank account, then don't do it this time. Wait till the next time we open it up. And between now and then, make a plan to make that extra money to invest in yourself. I don't want anybody in here, and nor does Fumiko, that is so stressed that they can't even pay their food bill. So don't do that, but don't deny yourself this opportunity the next time. Make a plan now for how you're going to make that extra money, because really that's the easy part. The hard part is you showing up for your life 100% every day. It's the best part, but it's the hardest part. And it's the part where fear takes over and people stop themselves in their head before they even take that first step. So I imagine that many of you listening to this are probably over 40, and I'm 52, and I see now in my age range, a lot of changes in my peers around me, and a lot of them are either going through, either a divorce or they're getting laid off from their job, and somebody younger is being hired in their job. I see this a lot, and I hear it on a personal level from my friends. And what I see, unfortunately, is that a lot of fear takes over and they get frozen in their tracks. They don't want to move forward because they're so scared, and they feel like this is it. Like, this is the end of my job. This is the end of my professional life. The young people are taking over, or whatever it is. And that sort of fear-based thinking, I understand it comes up. It's part of being human. But that is what has to be broken through, and you will break through any of that you have during this course if you take this course. For everybody, it's different what triggers them and where they're at, but that's one of the most important things that Fumiko focuses on, is your ability and your confidence to move forward. Our learning as human beings is never going to stop, ever. So I hope that you continue on with your growth, whatever path you take. Now, one more thing, or a couple more things I want to address. Another is this this scarcity mindset that we hear, that people will say, well, why would anybody want to take a face yoga class from me? Because I'm older, or there's already 2 face yoga teachers in my city that are certified, or in my country even. Okay, so to that I say, you need to stop this limiting thinking. That's the best way I can say that, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, like I said before, we live in an abundant universe, but I want you to think about whatever it is you're interested in, whatever hobby you have. For me, yoga is a big thing, and I've been doing yoga for over 20 years, and I still pay to take 3 to 4 yoga classes a week. And I could go take them online. I could take them on YouTube. I could take them on a DVD. I could do them in my house. I know how enough poses that I could lead my own class to myself. But I will always go to a class. And there's a couple reasons that I pay to go to a class for something that I've practiced 20 years. One is I love the community of a class. 2, I love the accountability. I know I'm going to stay for the whole class. I'm not going to like slide out halfway through because I paid for this. I want to be there, and I'm not going to walk out in the middle of a class. 3, I love the teacher. I often pick a teacher. There's so many yoga teachers around here, and there's so many great ones. And a lot of times my criteria for picking a class is based off of who's teaching it. So I'm drawn to certain people, like we're all drawn to certain people. And people are going to be drawn to you in the same way. So that's why I continue to pay for it. And I say the same thing, for example, about cooking. I'm sure a lot of you cook, and I love to cook and bake, and I buy cookbooks, and I buy, baking books, and I look at recipes on YouTube, and I look up recipes online. But I still pay for information, even though I can find it online. It's a different format, and I will always do that. I just bought, a new plant-based cookbook. It doesn't stop me, even though I can find this information for free. So people will always be drawn to you and what you have to offer if you are offering it from your heart and with the right energy, and you have the knowledge. And you're going to learn to do that when you learn this skill. And if you're older and you're afraid that you don't have the perfect face, in the same way somebody said, we go to exercise classes with people that have that perfect body. It's aspirational, certainly, but supermodels are not relatable. We look at the pictures in the magazines that have been photoshopped and glossed over and all that kind of stuff. It is not relatable for people. And people want to find somebody that they can connect with, that they're like, oh, that person did it too, and that person looks like me. And I've pointed out before that there's a woman who does yoga. She's become this Instagram sensation, and her name is Jessamine. And she has this Instagram channel called I Am Jessamine, and I'll put the link to it somewhere beneath this video. And she has over 300,000 followers, and she is a large, curvy woman from the southern United States that she's not your typical yoga teacher at all. So why does she have 300,000 followers? People are connecting to her. They're excited that, oh my gosh, there's someone I can relate to. So do not be afraid. If you believe in this in your heart and you have the knowledge and the skill that you will get from the teacher certification program, you can go out and create your own community to teach this. And in fact, I challenge you to, if it's not face yoga, whatever it is that you want to offer the world, do not let your limiting thoughts stop you. And you're actually, there's a saying, I can't remember how it goes, but it's like, you're robbing the world if you don't bring your gifts that your heart tells you, your heart's desire, if you don't bring those gifts forward. And I want you to think, I'm going to pick a really famous example because I know you'll all recognize it. J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series. I think that first came out 15 years ago or something. Now, 15 years ago, there were thousands, if not millions, of amazing kids' stories out there already. And there's the Grimm's fairy tales. There's all that stuff already existing in the world. So what if J.K. Rowling just said to herself, there's already so many kids' stories. Like, why do we need another kid's story in the world? Just think of what she would have robbed the world of, what she would have taken away, these beloved characters and books that, have become childhood favorites of literally millions of children all around the world. And I'm not saying you have to become, this superstar movie star or sell millions of books, but your gifts are going to touch someone. So if you have it in somewhere in your heart that you want to do this, then don't let those limiting thoughts stop you. Stop telling yourself that story of, I see people tell themselves this story all the time. They repeat their past. They talk about the stuff they don't want, the bad stuff that happened, or their situation. We get emails from people that go deep into bad circumstances of illness or a family situation that's difficult, and the person writes an email that's really long and they rehearse that whole story. Now, I'm not denying that those circumstances are bad or difficult. What I will say to this is, don't tell the story you don't want to live. Stop telling that story and start telling the story you do want to live, because you can create it. I promise you, you can. I know you can. I've done it myself, and I see it happen every day with people around us in the teacher certification course. So start telling yourself a different story, and you will start creating new neural pathways in your mind that will literally change the way your energy is put out into the world. And when you put that energy out into the world, it will change what comes back to you. So all of this stuff is stuff that is, Fumiko and I practice on a regular basis, and she does address in the course. We both feel really strongly about that, and that's why we both invest in ourselves and our personal self-development on a regular basis, either doing retreats or workshops or whatever it is that speaks to us. We never stop investing in that. Or we also never stop investing in our business on a business level. Which brings me to another question that people ask is, okay, I'm going to get all these skills, but I don't know how to do business. I don't know how to market myself. So that's the easiest part of all, honestly, in my opinion. And maybe it's because I have a background in it, but I'm going to teach you marketing, online marketing. And we learned a lot from that last round of students that were with us, what works and what doesn't work, and how not to overwhelm them. So Bianca, who is our amazing assistant in the Face Yoga Method and who knows everything, she and I are going to teach marketing modules to you, and we're going to teach you how to simply and effectively market yourself to your local community and the world around you. And we're even going to give you swipe files, so emails that you can send to your local yoga studios or spas where you want to set up a class. So that part is really, really easy. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else that I can help answer for you guys, because I know it's a lot to think about. The biggest gift you can give yourself in life, and in turn give the world, is investing in you. So, like I said before, if you do it anywhere, if you don't do it with us, do it somewhere. Do it somewhere. Find a routine or something that works for you, and continue to develop yourself on a personal level. I think that's it for my message, and I want you to know that you can talk to one of our certified teachers. So Fumiko is now certified, I think, 25, maybe 30 at this point, teachers from the last round of class, from the first round of class that happened starting earlier this year. And a couple of those teachers have made themselves available to us so that they can field your questions, and you can talk to them one-on-one on the phone, and you can ask them whatever you want. We're not going to be there to interfere with anything that's being said. You can have a private conversation with them and ask them whatever you want. And one of them's based, Denise is based here in the United States, and Maria is based over in Germany. So we can set up a time that works for you. You just have to reach out to us, to our customer support, and we can set up a time with either Denise or Maria, and you can ask them whatever you want. So that's it for my message, and I hope this helps you. I hope this answers some questions, and if you have more, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. But, my final words to you are, no matter what you do, whether you invest with us or not, start today to change the way you show up in the world. Do one small thing that breaks your comfort zone. Go into your uncomfortable zone, and you will be amazed at what shows up for you. Okay, that's it for me. I'll see you later. Bye.